Hello everyone, welcome to our cybersecurity session. And in today's session, we're going to see some typical layers of cybersecurity. Okay, these are the very much important to know about the cybersecurity. So I will let you know about what are the layers of cybersecurity and how it will be beneficial for us to work on. Okay. And in my first video, like in my first session, I'll be introducing about like the seven layers of OSI models of cybersecurity. So that is also one important video. Go and watch that. And after that, completing this session, we'll be having some 5 to 6 questions of quiz questions. So go through all those questions and comment me in the chat box with every question answers. Okay, comment me the options which is correct in the comment box. I will check on it. Okay, and welcoming you all to the part 3 of cybersecurity. Okay, there are 7 layers of cybersecurity. In our last video, we have been discussed about the types of cybersecurity and what are the fundamentals of cybersecurity. Okay, fundamentals are the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, these are the three fundamentals. And coming to cybersecurity attack, it's simple as there are two web-based attacks and system-based attacks. Okay, in web-based attacks, there are nearly 10 concepts there are 10 different concepts: injection attack, DNS spoofing, session hijacking, phishing, brute force, denial of service. In the denial of service, there are three types: volume-based attack, protocol attack, application layer attack, and a dictionary, URL, file inclusion, man in the middle attack. So these are the types of web-based attack. Coming to system-based attack, as we discussed in previous video, there are 5 types: virus, bomb, Trojan horse, okay, and backdoors and bots. Okay, and coming to now, like today's session will be like 7 layers of cybersecurity. It's simple as the first layer will be the mission critical, like human layer. First layer is human layer. Second layer is perimeter security. Third layer is network security. Fourth layer is endpoint security. And fifth layer is application security. And sixth layer is data security. And seventh layer will be mission critical assets. Okay, got it right? Yes. These are the 7 layers of cyber security. And once again repeating, just keep in mind the top layer is human layer. Second, topmost second will be perimeter security. Topmost third layer will be network security. Under network security, endpoint security will be there. Under endpoint security, application security will be there. Under application security, data security will be there. And under data, there is mission critical assets. Okay, so these are the 7 layers of cyber security that we must want to know about. Okay, just go through these layers and keep in mind. We will let you discuss how it works. Okay, yeah. The 7 layers of cybersecurity should center on the mission critical assets you are seeking to protect. Okay, mission critical assets is nothing but this is the data you need to protect. Okay, see here you might be seen in the inner layer. This is an inner layer. So inside the inner layer, you might see in the mission critical assets, right? So what is mean by mission critical assets? It's nothing but the mission critical access is the data you need to protect. See, as I told in cybersecurity, there are some attackers who attack and steal your data and privacy information, right? So, for that purpose, you need to protect your data. So, here the mission critical assets comes in a way, the data you need to protect. Okay, and upon the mission critical assets, we will be having data security. Okay, so it is an inner look, right? So first in the inner side, mission critical assets, and upon that, data security is there. So our second will be data security. So the data security controls protect the storage and transfer of data. The name itself, we can see it's a data security. It secures the data and protects the data, okay? And also it transfers the data which is original, okay, which is real. And also it stores the data, okay? The security, data security is nothing but it stores the data, it transfers the data, okay, in particular manner, okay. And the third layer, you can see the yellow color, okay, that is some kind of yellow. That is application security. So here, the application security controls protect access to an application and application access to your mission critical assets and the internal security of the application. It's nothing but this is an application layer. Okay, so application layer, what does it do? It protects the entire application. Okay, if there is a system or if there is a computer, if there are some networks. So if someone getting hacking into that particular computer or system, we need to protect the entire application, right? So this is how the application security works. It just protects the entire application and application access to your mission critical assets and internal security of the application. Okay, so it just secures the internal application. And the fourth point here is endpoint security. It's nothing but it controls the entire connection between the name itself. You can see here, like the entire point is connected between the devices and the network, right? So, like you can see here, the endpoint security controls and protects the connection between devices and the network. You guys can know that there is always a connection between the devices and the network. Without any connection, we can't do our proper activities and runs the application, right? So for that control purpose, instead of in these kind of connections, we need to protect the data, right? So this is how the endpoint security works. Endpoint security controls and protects the connection between the devices and the networks. Okay. Similarly, the network security is the fifth point, right? So the network security controls protect an organization network and prevent unauthorized access of the network. It's also so simple as that. See, the network system, the entire network controls the entire organization. For example, okay, you are a student and you are going to college. In the lab, you are just working on the lab. If your lab system computer gets hacked, na, so the entire college should be protected. So this is how the network security works. If any one of the system in the organization is like feeling some kind of attacks, this network security controls and protects the entire organization network. Okay, what's the entire organization? So once I get information that my computer in my lab was hacked, then this network security protects the entire computers in our college. Okay, all systems will be protected. So this is how the network security works. The seventh one is perimeter security. This perimeter security is nothing but it controls both physical and the digital security methodologies that protect the business overall. Okay, it's simple as it also controls and includes the physical and digital security methodologies. See, in the perimeter in itself, it's nothing to gather the entire boundaries of the system. Okay, the boundaries is the digital security. For a system, there might be some two-factor authentication. Digital authority will be there, right? So these and all is protected by perimeter security. Okay, and the seventh layer is the human layer. Humans are the weakest link in cybersecurity posture. Okay, that's nothing but human security control include phishing simulation. As I informed you about the phishing concept, that is nothing but phishing in the sense the attackers will send an malicious link through the email. Okay, so through email they might be sending this malicious links. So these kind of phishing simulations and um access management controls the protected mission from a various human threats. Okay, so this is a type of including cyber criminals and malicious insiders and negligent the users. This is how it includes and access the management that protect missions and access from the cyber criminals and malicious insiders. Okay, so this is how the 7 layers of cybersecurity works. The first thing will be the mission critical assets. The second thing will be the data security. The third thing will be the application security. Fourth thing will be the endpoint security. Fifth thing will be the network security. Sixth one is perimeter security. And the seventh one will be the human layer. Okay, just remember and understand the concepts of these 7 layers of cybersecurity. This will be very much important to our basic foundation of cybersecurity. Okay, and just go through these lines once again, and we'll move on to the next session. Okay, yes. Here is vulnerability, threat, and harmful acts. Okay, as the recent epidemic of data breaches illustrates, no system is immune to attacks, right? See, we as a humans, now we will be sometimes we'll be getting like we'll be having some immune deficiency, fever, cold, or some kind of neurological disorder. So these are the efforts that are coming to humans. But coming to the data, like computer, there is no immune to attack. We think that the system has no immune deficiency. No, that is not right. Because system also has virus attack, worm attack, everything. So see, any company that manages, transmits, stores, or otherwise handles data has to institute and enforce mechanisms the cyber environment, identify vulnerabilities, and close up security holes as equally as possible, right? So before identifying the damages or the dangers to the modern data system, it is crucial to understand the distinction between the cyber threat and vulnerabilities. The main and important thing to know about the cyber security is this cyber threats and vulnerabilities. Okay, the cyber threats are nothing but they are the security incident or the circumstances with the potential to have a negative outcome for your network or the other data management system. Cyber threat is nothing but you have your own laptop, you have your own data, and you have your privacy. But in case your data is lost, in case the attackers had might attack the entire sensitive information, that is what the cyber threats. Okay, they are the security incidents, circumstances with the potential to have the negative outcome. So the threats, how it becomes not. So we need to protect the entire system, everything. Right? So for example, the common types of security threats include phishing attacks. Right? As I told, through email, the attackers will send the link, and while clicking the link, some kind of malware has been installed in your computer without knowing it. You don't know that this kind of has been installed. So these are the cyber attacks, but that infects your data and failure of a staff member to follow data protection protocols to cause a data breach, or even a tornado that takes down your company's data headquarters and disrupting access. Okay, this is how the cyber threats works. And coming to vulnerabilities, these are the gaps or weakness in a system that make threats possible and tempt threats actors to exploit them. Okay, this is how the weakness in the system gets exploited and attacks the system. Okay, the types of vulnerabilities in the network security include, but not limited to SQL injections. Okay, so there may be some server misconfigurations, cross-site scripting, and transmitting the sensitive data in a non-encrypted plain text format. So when threat probability is multiplied by potential loss that may result, cybersecurity experts refer to this as a risk. It's nothing. See, if once your data is lost, okay, we can make a cyber crime effect or something else. But simultaneously, your data is going to lose many times, and it is multiplied, and you have been uh, faced so many kind of issues. Now, that is the cyber security expert. Okay, that refers this to as a risk. So we can inform this as a risk to this cyber experts. Okay. This is how the definition of how vulnerability, threats, and harmful attacks of cybersecurity will be done. Okay, and coming to our next portion, security vulnerabilities, threats, and attacks. So there are some categories of vulnerabilities. Okay, as simple as corrupted, that is loss of integrity, leaky, loss of confidentiality, unavailable or very slow, loss of availability. Okay, there are, as I told in previous video, there are three kinds of fundamentals of cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Here, in vulnerabilities, corrupted is the word correct suits of loss of integrity. If there is a loss of integrity, then it's named as corrupted. If there is a loss of availability, then it named as unavailable or very slow. If there is a loss of confidentiality, then it names a leaky. These are the three categories of vulnerabilities. And what is threats here? The threats represent the potential harm that to an asset when vulnerabilities are exploited. Threats are nothing but if the system gets attacked, right? If the data is lost, the system is being affected. So that is what the threats are. It is the potential security harm to an asset when vulnerabilities are exploited. Okay. And the next thing will be attackers are threats that have been carried out, like passive attack. There are four types of attack. Remember, this is the very important question. See, these lines are very important. Okay, there are four types of attacks: passive attack, active attack, insider attack, attack. Okay, so make use of information from the system without affecting system resources. Okay, what is active? Alter system resources or affect operation. Okay. Passive is nothing but make use of information from the system without affecting. How the attackers can attack the system without knowing that it has been affected. Okay. Using the information from the system without affecting any system resources is known as passive attack. Okay, these are done by the attackers. What is active attack? It's the alter system resources or affect operation. It affects the entire operation. But coming to passive, it does the system does it know the operation has been affected, but the attack has been done there. Okay. Active effect is the same as the system resources of affect operation. And insider effect initiated by an entity inside the organization. Okay. Insider effect now it's nothing within a organization. If there are some organizations now XYZ, take XYZ as a company, and within the organization, there will be some attackers who has the entire data and information about the company, but they become the illegally. They may affect the system and leak the entire organization data. This is what they have been telling that it has insider attack. Okay, outsider attack is nothing but the out person of the organization. Once the XYZ company is attacked, but the person is from not within the organization, he is outside the organization. These are the four kinds of attacks you need to carry out. Okay, you need to know about it. Coming to the next thing, the computer criminals. Okay, computer criminals have access to enormous amounts of hardware, software, and data. The computer itself, it has includes hardware also included, software also included, and data also will be there. These three among togetherly called as computer criminals. They have potential to cripple much of effective business and government throughout the world. In a sense, the purpose of security is to prevent these criminals from doing damage. So we say computer crime is any crime like involving a computer or aided by the use of one, right? So although this definition is admitted broadly, like it allows us to consider ways to protect ourselves and our businesses and our communities against those who use the computers maliciously. Okay, as simple as that. Like one approach to prevent or moderate is to understand who commits so these kind of crimes and why. This is the approach we need to just understand. So many studies have attempted to determine the characteristics of computer criminals. Okay. So by studying those who have already used computers to commit crimes, we may able to be in the future to spot likely criminals and prevent the criminals from occurring. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to study how the computers need to commit the crime and everything we need to do. After that, only we can able to do it in future, spot likely criminals and prevent the crimes from occurring. Okay, yeah. And coming to CIA triad, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability triad, it will be calling it as a triad because these are three, right? Confidentiality is first, integrity is second, availability is third. These three togetherly called as triad. It is cybersecurity triad. Okay, is actually a security model that has been developed to help people think about various parts of IT security. Okay, so CIA triad broken down the confidentiality. As I told, I'm again exploring you guys to know, understand, and understand much more into this. So it's crucial in today's world for people to protect these sensitive, private information from unauthorized access, right? So there because we can't able to protect sometimes our data. So that is how the unauthorized access came. So protecting confidentiality is dependent on being able to define and enforce the certain access levels for information. In some cases, doing this involves separating information into various collections that are organized by who needs access to information and how sensitive that information actually is. That is the amount of damage suffered if the confidentiality was breached. Okay, these are some real-time examples how confidentiality triad has been worked in cybersecurity. Okay, and the next thing will be some of the most common means used to manage confidentiality includes accessing control list, volume, and file encryption, and Unix file permission. These are also very confidential. If we are working in some companies, we are getting some confidential project and confidential data. So we should not use to share those data outside, right? So similarly, the confidential data is also protected using list, volume, and files of data. Okay. Yes. Coming to integrity. Data integrity is what the I in CIA triad stands for. As I told, this is an essential component of CIA triad and designed to protect the data from deletion or modification from any unauthorized party. And it ensures that when authorized person makes a change that should not have been made, the damage can be reserved. Got it? So this is nothing but if you are protecting the data which is deleted or which is some modified from the unauthorized access, it should be it should not have to be made that the data is safely here because it may be cause the damage that can be reversed. Okay, so these are the real time access of integrity. Coming to availability, this is the final component of CIA triad and refers to the actual availability of your data. Authentication mechanism. access channels, systems, all have to work properly for the information they protect and ensure it's available when it is needed, right? So, understanding the CIA triad is all about the information, while this is considered the core factor of the majority of IT security. Because the security in the self, you just need to remember that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. It is promotes a limited view of security and also ignores the other important factors. Okay, yes. And yes, coming to the next thing, even though availability may serve to make sure you don't lose access to resources, so you needed to provide information when it is needed. So thinking about the information security itself, it doesn't guarantee that someone else has not used your hardware resources without an authorization, right? So it's important to understand what this CIA triad is, how it is used to plan, and also to implement a quality security policy. Okay, because this CIA triad is very important to plan and implement. Okay, to prevent our data. It is also important to understand the limitation it presents. Okay, when you are informed, you can utilize the CIA triad for what it has to offer and avoid the consequences that may come along or by not understanding what is what. Okay, this is how the CIA triad you need to understand from this. So make a view of this, and after that we'll move on to the next topic. Okay. Yes. Our, our last topic in our session will be assets and threats. Okay. After this, we'll move on to some quiz questions that you guys can explore more. Okay. Yeah. What is an asset? Okay, asset in itself, what is the mean? See, in the basic computer and scientific knowledge or basic science knowledge, general knowledge also, the asset is a word or it is a kind of device. Okay, see here the real definition is an asset is any data, device, or other component of an organization system that is valuable often because it contains sensitive data or can be used to access such information. Okay, asset is nothing but for our frequent data or for our frequent usage. It may be a device or it may be a computer or it may be a system or data. Okay, that we use frequently to accessing some kind of sensitive data and information. Okay, if I want to develop some video games and some things, there I was frequently using one type of asset or one kind of website that is known as asset. Okay, so where you can frequently use that asset so that you can it's a kind of daily usage where you to access there and you can provide a product and you can store the information there. Okay, so is there any data or device the other component of organization system that is valuable because it is sensitive and it can also access the information. Yeah, example, an employee desktop computer, laptop or company phone would be considered as asset. As I told, a desktop computer is also an asset, phone is also an asset, as would applications on those devices. Okay. Likewise, the critical infrastructure such as server and support systems are also assets. An organization most common assets are information assets because the organization has such much data, it needs to prevent that data from the physical files and everything. Okay. So these are the things such as the databases and the physiological files that is very sensitive data that you can store. This is the best example of assert and how it is used. Okay, and what is a threat? A threat is any incident that could negatively affect an asset. For example, it's nothing but if anything goes positive, na, that is very well good. If something goes negative in the system, that is known as threat. A threat is an incident that could negatively affect an asset Okay, could affect the entire asset. Asset in the sense the system or computer or something that is assessed. So it would defect and it will impact role, negative impact. For example, if it's lost, knocked offline, or accessed by an unauthorized party. You got it right? Just remember what is asset and what is threat in the proper way. The threats can be categorized as circumstances that compromise the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of an asset and can either be intentional or accidental. Okay, threats uh, can be done without knowing or with knowingly. Okay, that is what it can be intentional or accidental. Intentional threats includes things such as intentional means doing wantedly. Who can do wantedly? The criminals or the attackers. Criminal hacking or the malicious insider stealing information. These are the intentional threats. Okay. Whereas the accidental threat is without knowingly. Generally involve employee error or the technical malfunction or an event that causes the physical damage, such as the fire or the natural disaster. Okay, so these are the two types of threats: intentional threat and accidental threat. Got it? So I'll just again recall what is the summary of today's session. So in today's session, we have been learned the 7 layers of cybersecurity, that is human layer, perimeter security, network security, endpoint security, application security, data security, and mission critical assets. Okay, and how it works. And also, we have been explored in vulnerability. What is vulnerability? What is threat? How it harmful effects are there, and cyber threats. Okay, security, vulnerability, threats, and attacks. Categories of vulnerabilities. There are three categories: corrupted, leaky, unavailable. Corrupted is the loss of integrity, leaky is the loss of confidentiality, unavailable is the loss of availability. And threats, what are threats? What are attackers? Oh, so what is attack and what are the types of attacks? Passive, active, insider, outsider. And what is CIA triad? This is the very, very important concept. This and these are the very, very important concepts. Okay. What is confidentiality? What is integrity? What is availability? These are the we have been understood there. And after, what is an asset and what is a threat and what are the two types of threat? Intentional threats and accidental threats. Okay. And after that, I told we'll be having quiz, right? So I'll be showing you questions. You can go through those questions and comment me answers in the comment section. Okay. Our first question will be, what is the simplest way to stop brute force cyber attacks dead in their tracks? Shred all paperwork containing sensitive information, add a dead ball lock to all entryways, add a few unique characters to any password or PIN. I'm giving you 2 minutes of time just to go through it and let me know the answer in the comment section. And second thing is, what is the quickest way to stop a suspected app, device, or OS from spying on you? Google user reports of the device's spying activity and what those people did to stop it. Log out of suspected device or account and can go about the day. Visit Consumer Affairs or Federal Trade Commission websites for tips. A third question will be, what is the weakest link in cybersecurity? Weak encryption, humans, or short passwords? Just pause the video and just understand what is this and let me know the answer below the comment section. Fourth question is, what is the first thing you should do if your company is facing some ransomware? Determine if ransomware demand is legitimate and follow instructions to get your data back. On second option will be ignore the demands but back up all the data just in case. And your third option will be contact the police and do not pay the ransom. Take a pause and let me know the answer in the comment section. ఏంటి కాల్ ఇంతకు ఎవరు ఎవరు చేసిన దానికి నేను ఎంతసేపు ఉంటుందా 2 minutes అయిపోయింది ఆ కింద లెక్క పోదాం Yes, our next question will be which one of these things will be a comprehensive cyber insurance not protect you from? Option A, poor cybersecurity hygiene and implementation. Option B, a ransomware attack on your company's computer network. Option C, an employee skimming, stealing customers' credit cards. So take a pause and let me know the option in the comment section. And once again, repeating the question. Which one of these things will be a comprehensive cyber insurance not protected from you? Poor cybersecurity hygiene and implementation, a ransomware attack on your company's network, and employee skimming, stealing customers' credit cards. Yes, coming to our final quiz question. So, what's the best way to secure a weak password like monkey123? Option A, add an uppercase numeral and a special characters such as dollar symbol. And option B will be don't reuse it anywhere else or share it with anyone. Third option will be enable two-factor authentication. So take a pause and let me know the correct option in the comment section. And yes, here we go. Let me show you all kind of quizzes in today's session. So just give me the correct option in the chat box. I will let you know the correct options and correct answers in our next video. Hoping you guys listened and cleared everything here. If you have any queries, you can ask in the section. Until then, signing off. Thank you. I'll just show you the quizzes once again. Just take a snapshot or just read again and you can comment it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys. We'll see you on next session. Until then, explore more in cybersecurity. Thank you.